Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast From Zero to Hero. This is the only podcast where we are challenging the status quo and exploring some good ideas about pushing some boundaries to get us moving forward. Today, I'm your host, Tony, and I am super thrilled that you are joining me today. Okay, so I have something special for you. So, today we're going to take a deep dive into a topic that is simple, but a lot of times misunderstood. We're going to talk about the power of your attitude. This isn't just about having a good mood or being optimistic. It's more about the way that you respond to life when life throws you curveball. No, it's more about the way that you respond to life, the way that you decide to show up, no matter what challenges or setbacks that are coming your way. Your attitude is the only thing that you can actually control in this life. Not your connections, not your strategy, and definitely not even your income. You can't control the family that you have. You can't control the people that you come in contact with. Life throws us curveballs, and we all know that, right? But the way that you smile back at life, the way that you approach tough times, that's what makes you or even breaks you. Most of us think that we can control a lot of things in our life, and it's you can't control your time, you can't control who you meet, you can't control who you know, you can't control the opportunities that come your way, or even how people treat you. You can have the best strategy, the perfect plan, and still things can go sideways. While you can't control what happens to you, you can control how you react. That's your superpower. Your attitude is the lens through which you see the world. It determines whether you see challenges as obstacles or opportunities, right? Whether you choose resilience over resentment or growth over being stagnant. Think about it for a moment. If you take two people and both of those people face the exact same setback, but their outcomes will be entirely different based on their attitude. One might see failure as the end, while the other sees failure as a chance to step up. So the real question isn't what happens to you, it's how you decide to respond to life when times get hard, when times get difficult, when you don't know what to do, when you don't know all the answers. How will you respond? I want you to imagine two different individuals who are starting a business. One has every advantage. They have all the connections, they have all the funding, all the education, and the other has none of that. Statistically, who do you think should succeed, or who do you think would most likely succeed? Most people would bet the first person, the person who has all the connections, all the funding, all the education. But time and time again, we see that people or the person with the better attitude often wins. People like people who smile. People like people who are friendly. People like people who are welcoming. People like people who show a genuine interest in them. Right? That's what people like. And why is this? Because success isn't about your resources, isn't about your connection, it isn't about your funding, it isn't about your education. This is all about your attitude, your ability to smile back at life. It's about showing up every day with a mindset that says, I can figure this out, I can do this. It's about persistence, gratitude, and the willingness to be able to learn from your failures, the willingness to be able to learn from your setbacks. That's what success is all about. Your attitude shapes your habits. Your attitude shapes your identity. If you believe that every no is just a step closer to a yes, you'll keep going. You'll go further. If you view challenges as a lesson, you'll grow stronger. But if you let negativity and doubt creep in your mind, you will stop yourself from even starting again. That's exactly what you would do. So, as we continue, let's talk a little bit about why your attitude matters more than your talent. Let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who was incredibly talented, but they never seemed to really get anywhere? And then there's the person who has average skills, who is thriving. What's the difference? It's the person's attitude. Talent is important, but your attitude is what sustains you. Your attitude is what keeps you going. Your attitude is what keeps you building. When you have a positive attitude, you're more approachable. People want to work with you. Opportunities start to come your way just because of positivity. And guess what? Positivity is magnetic. On the flip side, even the most talented people in the world can alienate themselves or alienate others with a bad attitude. Nobody wants to be around a negative person. Think about it yourself. When you go into a place of work, or if you wanted to buy something at a restaurant and the person has poor customer service or they had a bad attitude, you don't want to deal with that person, right? And that's why attitude is so important. Don't get it twisted. Having a good attitude does not mean being fake or ignoring life's challenges. It means choosing to see the bigger bigger picture. It's about acknowledging the tough times, but not allowing them to define you. One thing about attitude that gets missed every single time is that a positive attitude, if you really think about it, really doesn't get glamorized. You really don't see people collecting awards. You don't see people on billboards for the best attitude or people skills. You don't see images of success of how well people respond to life or how well other people make people feel. Everybody thinks success is all about money, titles, wins, and attention. But what is money? What is wins if you have a poor attitude and the people around you treat you like crap, or you treat the people around you like crap? What is money? What is a title? What are wins? What is the attention for? Right? Because you're just going to be a lonely person. And so, as we're talking about this, let's talk about some practical tips to cultivate a positive attitude, especially when you're going through some troubled times or you're going through something that's very difficult and it's very hard for you to push through. So, how do you actually build and maintain a positive attitude? Which is one great question. Number one, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to shift your whole perspective. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, your attitude naturally becomes more positive. Why? Because gratitude rewires your brain to notice the good in your life, to notice the positive in your life, to notice the things that are actually in your reality. One thing about gratitude is that it's not about ignoring life's challenges. It's about recognizing that even in tough times, there is something for you to be thankful for. There is something for you to be happy about, basically. When you can see the good amidst the bad, you're not just surviving, you are actually thriving. What will happen instead of complaining about a tough day or complaining about tough times? You start to find small things to appreciate about your experience, small things to appreciate about your work, small things to appreciate in your life. This simple shift can change your entire outlook of your day, your entire attitude about the day. So practice gratitude daily. That is one of the most simple and powerful ways to change your perspective to get you back on track. The second thing that you can do is reframe your setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable. You're going to have some curveballs. You're going to have some difficulty because you're working towards something. And anytime you're working towards something, it's going to come with a lesson. And a lot of times lessons are uncomfortable. A lot of times lessons don't feel good. A lot of times lessons are very hard and they can be destructive sometimes. But here's the thing. It's not about the setbacks themselves that define us. It's how we respond to that setback. It means looking at your failures and challenges as opportunities for you to grow. Hey, how can I grow through this setback? What am I learning from this setback? What is this lesson meant to teach me? Is it meant to give me more patience, more resilience, or is it meant to give me a reminder to plan better? Right? How can this make me stronger? Challenges often reveal the strength that you didn't even know that you had. So what's the next step? Focus on the solutions rather than dwelling on the problems. And sometimes in life, when you are going through setbacks and you are going through challenges, you have to find the people in your life who are for you, the people in your life who can remind you of your wins, who can remind you of why you're doing what you're doing, who can remind you and encourage you to keep moving forward, keep going forward, don't stop. And here's the reasons why. People who can bring evidence and show you, hey, this is why we need you here. This is why you need to go further. This is why you must continue going. People who can bring the evidence of your work, to bring the evidence of your existence, bring the evidence of your experience, and encourage you to keep going and not stop. That's what you need. That's what you have to surround yourself around. You have to surround yourself around good people who are all about helping you move forward, good people who want to see you do better. Which brings me into my third tip. Surround yourself with positivity. Your environment matters. Take a moment to evaluate the people around your life right now. Are they supportive people? Are they encouraging people? Are they uplifting people? Or do they drain your energy? Or do they give you negativity? Or do they give you doubt? Think about it here for a second. It's not about cutting people off necessarily. It's about protecting your mental health, your emotional well-being. It's about spending time with those who inspire you. It's about spending time with those who inspire you to be your best self or to find the best version of yourself. Positivity in your environment is not just about people. It's also about what you're consuming, okay? A lot of us like to spend a lot of time on our phones, watching television, what you're watching on TV, your media? What are you consuming? What are you scrolling through endlessly on social media? What are you comparing your life to? What highlight reel are you watching? We have to be careful about that energy that we're consuming because that energy can shape and groom us. It can groom our habits, in which we know that our habits can groom our identity, which can play on our self esteem, which can play on our self confidence. And remember, positivity is contagious. However, negativity is just as contagious. When you surround yourself with people who are positive, you start to reflect and attract others who in your life who are positive. Tip number 4, smile back at life. Now, this may sound simple, but it's extremely powerful. When life hits you hard, smile back. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about showing that you are still standing, you are still fighting, and you are still moving forward in your process, in your journey, in your experience to get where you need to go. What if success isn't about how much money you have or how much you achieve, but how you approach your journey, how well you are able to endure your journey? What if the real measure of success is about the ability to maintain a positive attitude, even when times get tough, even when things don't even go your way? What if success is all about the attitude? And that's the secret sauce that we all been missing because we've been thinking that success is about a title, it's about a fan base, it's about connections. But what if it's really about a positive attitude? You know, society a lot of time tells us to hustle, grind. It tells us to strive for more, get better, do this and do that. But what if the secret isn't doing more? What if the way that you show up matters more than what you accomplish? So my final thoughts. Here's my challenge for you today. In this week ahead, focus on your attitude, that one small trait, your attitude. When challenges arise, and trust me, they will, take a pause and ask yourself, how am I going to respond to this? How am I going to move through this? How can I change to move through this? How can I choose gratitude? How can I choose resilience? How can I choose to smile back at life? Because here's the truth, your attitude is your real superpower. It's the one thing that nobody can take from you. It is the one thing that will determine whether you will simply survive or you will truly thrive in your journey. So your attitude is everything. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today from Zero to Hero. If you enjoyed this episode or you feel like you liked it, please feel free to share it with somebody who you may feel like needs it as a reminder. Also, remember to subscribe and like this video. Until next time, y'all, take care and stay positive. Have a wonderful work week. Peace.